will bind against you for a good time. You just might be exposed to things you don't know. 'Cause we're amateurs.
Oh, you guys are back. Oh, hey. I just wanted to say thank you very much for giving me your time. I am humbled by it. I appreciate that you were willing to take a few minutes and listen to something that I've been working very hard on. I'm very happy about. So thank you very much. I look forward to talking to you all here in a minute. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Amateur Reality Hackers. I'm particularly excited for this episode. I'm going to be talking to you guys about something that I put a lot of work into over the past year. Using my headset because I think there's something wrong with my mic, which would explain some of the weird audio in the past videos. And it's a security tool for the computer. It's called Webb Computer Shield. It's available on the Microsoft Store, and it approaches security from a completely different angle than other current antiviruses out there, which not only allows it to work in tandem with other antiviruses, but it's an extremely effective option that I think can really help a lot of people. And so, like I said, it's called the Webb Computer Shield. I'm going to bring it up here real quick. You have to give it administration privileges that it'll ask for. The first thing that it does is a system hardening function. And what this will do is go through and make sure that your computer has all of its updates. It'll make sure that there's no Windows corruptions. It'll make sure the firewall is turned on, that the firewall rules are set properly, that there is no weird issues with it. And then it tells you that your computer has been hardened. And so that whole hardening system is actually just based on Windows native tools, and it optimizes the effects of those Windows tools to make sure that people can stay safe. So you're not adding anything new or weird to your computer, you're just making sure that the functions within Windows that are offered are taken full advantage of. And so depending on how old your computer is, this part can take a little bit. It might be worth going and stepping away and getting some coffee if you were doing this yourself at your house. For my computer, it's going to go pretty quick because not only have I run this recently, but also all my stuff is pretty well optimized to not take forever. And so should be done here sooner than later, at which point it'll pop up a little warning window. The warning window is actually just saying that your computer is fine, that the system is hardened, and then you hit OK. There it is. Your system has been hardened. And that makes that go away. And then there is a IP whitelist and blacklist. Now the blacklist is propagated from 26,000 plus malicious IP addresses that I manage on an RSS feed, and it gets fed into the program. The program not only does persistent background checks against the network to make sure that none of these malicious IP addresses are showing up, it also looks for different heuristics involved in the whole process of being a computer user, and at any point that it sees malicious activity coming in or out of the network, it flags it and then helps you take care of it. Now, the reason for that is that back when antivirus programs were first made, actually by my mentor John McAfee, well, I call him mentor, he was a friend, but I sure as hell learned enough from him to call him a mentor. You were dealing with isolated islands. The computers weren't constantly online. There wasn't this great breadth of internet connectivity and everything involved. Now there is, which means that nowadays malicious activity is tied back to a user that is putting something on your computer, a website putting something on your computer, something that got on your computer that you put on there that's now pinging out to something that's malicious or stealing your data, those kind of things. And so by monitoring the network activity for anomalous activities and malicious IP addresses, it approaches the whole situation from a new angle that is able to broad sweep this one bottleneck point of people coming into your computer and doing malicious things to it. And then combine that with something that's called a malicious full screen detection system, and your you're well taken care of, because you're not only protected against those full screens that scammers will put on that fake like some sort of Windows issue and then has people call a phone number, which, by the way, if you ever get one of those, do not call the phone number. I cannot stress that enough. What it is it's a fake thing that they put on, usually through Java runtime environments, that forces a big blue screen on the computer, makes it look like there's a Windows error, and then says that, either your system has been corrupted or there's been a security compromise or something of that nature, and that you need to call a phone number to reach the Microsoft representative that's going to help you. Microsoft has never once cared enough to have you call them. I don't know how hard I can stress that. I have 13 programs on the Microsoft Store, and I don't even have someone that I could call that's a part of Microsoft. So that they will never have you call them. That is always a lie. That is always a scam. Do not do it. Just do not call those numbers. If you have something like that come up, call a local computer repair guy. That they are more than happy to help you. That they might charge you, but it's gonna be an honest couple $100 as opposed to the clearing out of your bank account that one of these other companies will do that has the malicious phone numbers. And I mean, the worst case of this that I ever heard was a company that convinced the woman they were real, did fake help. Like, I have no idea what they were doing to make her think she was actually being protected by them for a couple years, and they ended up taking, I think it was like $10,000 from her for this, protection over the course of a couple years. And then after a couple years, they decided, may as well just go for the full pot, and they decided to try to get her bank information and steal her credit card and all sorts of stuff. And so I own a computer repair shop. I have for over 6 years between two different states, and this is something that I see so regularly, and it is such a terrible thing that's happening to people. And I really think this tool can help protect against that kind of stuff, along with many other network problems, because of the fact it's approaching things from a network angle as opposed to just file scans. You're protected against malicious websites, you're protected against scammers, you're protected against hackers, you're protected against malicious files that are going to have to either ping out with some sort of information or get a signal from somebody. And so what these IP lists let you do is, if you have a IP signal that like for example, it's going to be more for people that have advanced computing needs. But if you have an IP list or IP address that you're regularly going out to, like a video game, something like that, you can just add it to this list here, and it's the IP whitelist, and it's going to protect that particular connection from ever showing up in the heuristics. And same with the IP blacklist. If you know that, for example, Joe Schmo has been attacking your computer and his IP address is this, which again, you're getting into way more advanced computing needs at that point, then you can at least add it to the blacklist to make sure that if that person ever or that entity ever tries to connect to your computer again, it's immediately flagged. If there was any sort of anomalous network activity, it's going to bring up this network scan window, and that takes 90 seconds to run. And so in this 90 seconds, what it's doing is it's doing a very deep dive into the network, as well as checking everything against the most up-to-date version of that RSS feed I have of malicious IP addresses. And so that's a list that I personally manage. I make sure that it's constantly updated daily, and last I checked, it was like 26,800 IP addresses or something on it, but it usually will sit at right around that 26,000 mark. At the point that IP addresses are no longer considered malicious, and that's been verified by several sources, they fall off the list. That's actually a lot more rare than it sounds like. A lot of times things will just kind of linger on there permanently because people don't change their connections often. And so it's got this nice little animation going up top that I did. I do the front end, the back end, the animations, everything. So the only person that has ever touched this is me. And it's for that reason that I can say confidently it's not stealing data. It's manages your privacy at the utmost efficiency while also keeping a low computer power threshold, so it's not going to chew into your computer very much. It's not going to make programs run slow or anything like that. And I think the most intensive part of it is the system hardening and this network scan tool. The system hardening you only really need to do once, and that's when you first get the program. If you want to do it again down the road, or if something changes, you're welcome to. You don't need to. And then this one, it's doing such a deep dive into the network on, God, what was it? A 4 gig RAM virtual machine that was barely chugging along. I had this part slow things down a little bit. So it really, really should run smooth for everyone. And so then if there is no anomalies in the system, you get this network is safe window. I kind of didn't set things up right for it, but if there was a malicious IP address, then it's going to flag that program and bring up a quarantine window, and you can it's immediately moves the program into quarantine to make sure that it's not doing anything else to your computer. And at that point, you can either delete the program completely off the computer, in which case it gets rid of any trace of it, or you can restore it. And so if it happened to catch like a malicious website, and it tried to delete a web browser, which most of them have been put into a special category where that won't happen within the program. But if that was to happen and you're like, oh god, no, that's, it's trying to delete my Brave browser, or it's trying to delete this or that, you can just hit the restore button. Everything will go back to normal like nothing happened. It's no big deal. At that point, I would just contact, a customer service rep with a computer repair company, or completely nuke Windows off the computer and just reinstall a fresh copy of Windows. Or you can go to websoftwaresolutions.com or webcomputershield.biz, and there's going to be contact information for me. I'm happy to give people a hand. If it gets to the point where I would have to get onto the computer and do something specific, I have ways of setting that up for people. And so then the other thing that this thing does very well, and it's the main part I'm excited about, is that malicious full screen detection. And so if you want to exit out of it, it's just going to go down into the system tray down here, and it gives you a little warning. Web Security Shield is still running in the background, just so you don't forget about it. And then let's say you have one of those malicious blue screens that pops up and it goes full screen on you. First time it goes full screen, it's going to pop up this warning. We detect a full screen open on your PC. If you opened a full screen, please turn on gamer mode before reopening. Now what that's saying is that if you go back down to the system tray and you open up the security shield, there's this take down your shield gamer mode interactive work mode. What this does is it temporarily lowers your defenses, gets rid of the malicious full screen detection, gets rid of the network monitoring just very temporarily, so that way, which is fully at your control. And so you have this nice little button here, which is enable gamer mode or disable gamer mode. And it lets you play games. It lets you go on Zoom. It lets you watch a full screen movie. Just whatever you naturally wanted to do, it's the easy button to make that possible. And so being a gamer, having done a lot of media stuff, and then going to play a game that you're excited about, and all of a sudden having your antivirus add an extra hour and a half onto the process of getting to play it is just the biggest pain in the butt. And so this easy option should take care of that. And so all you gotta do, enable gamer mode. Now the full screen is no big deal. It does absolutely nothing about it because that function has been turned off. Now, if I was to re-enable gamer mode and go back through and do this again, or disable gamer mode, excuse me. And so it's re-enable the computer shield is what I meant to say. You get that first warning again, hey, something happened. Now, malicious full screens are going to automatically pop back up like that. And so if it's a malicious screen, a lot of times they'll either force themselves to stay open after that attempt to minimize it, or it's going to do some other dirty trick to basically stay open on the person's computer and leave their computer inoperable. And what this does is it automatically forces out whatever program is causing that, and it gives you this warning that a malicious full screen was detected. Please do not call any numbers or go to any URLs that were displayed on that screen. Please contact a cybersecurity expert. If you don't have a local expert, you can give me a call. I'm the owner of Webb Computer Repair, as well as the owner of Webb Software Solutions that produce this. Both companies are just me. So, then it gives my phone number there for the company. And let's see if there is really anything else. I think that's about it. It's a lightweight program that does network monitoring, makes sure that your network is safe, and also does this malicious full screen monitoring. Right now it's only $8.99 on the Microsoft Store. I take that back. It's usually $8.99 on the Microsoft Store. Right now it's on sale for $7.49, and so that's just a one-time fee of $7.50 to be protected. And the reason it's so cheap is not only do I not have a team to pay since I was the one that did it all myself, but I'm a single father of 3 kids and I do it all on my own. And so every time I make a piece of software, my mentality is if a single mom can pay for it, I did my job. There is no reason that someone on Social Security, someone just starting out in life that's just getting into college and doesn't have a good job, someone that's a single mom that's been going through hard times, would have to, make the choice of buying a program that can keep them safe on their computer, not being safe, or not having enough money for gas that month. And that's the boat that a lot of people are in these days. And so, as long as I'm in charge of this program, as long as this falls under the Web Software Solutions umbrella, I don't plan on raising the price on it. My hope is that, realistically, even if I was only making $1 a sale off this thing, if I could bring a million people some safety, that's sets me up fine. So there is no reason to be greedy. Anyway, I appreciate y'all. Thank you very much for giving me my time or your time. I am not going to redo this because this is about my 30th try at making this video, and I'm way too lazy to edit out any small errors at this point. Go check it out. Websoftwaresolutions.com for all my programs. Webcomputershield.biz or webcomputershield.online will get you straight to this program, or you can just go straight to the Microsoft Store and type in Web Computer Shield. That's all of the different routes I have to get to it. Link out to that one anyway. So thank you very much again, and I hope everyone has a wonderful day, and Merry Christmas.